Hi, my name is Maria and welcome to my channel MH Books. I do love playing with the camera and not letting you see it. Welcome to my TBR for Tome Topple. Tome Topple Readathon, for those who don't know, is about books that are over 500 pages, and it's to get you reading the longer books that have been sitting in your bookshelves because, well, actually these are always long, but that you might not have read because they're longer. There's a bit of pressure now on, if you're trying to, film weekly reads like I am, or you're blogging, or you're just trying to get through, you have 500 odd books on your shelves and you're trying to get through them, to read the shorter ones. So it's about focusing your back and enjoying the long ones again. And that's something I really want to do. So I'm so glad this is happening over Easter, and I'm going to concentrate, I think, very much on this. So the announcement video comes from Thoughts on Tomes, and it's linked below. I'm checking it out so I don't say the wrong names. I'm going to try to remember the prompts as best I can. So what the first prompt is to, the rules are just read book over 500 pages. No bind-ups, no short story collections. There's an exclusion rule for graphic novels, for bind-ups, because there would have to be a bind-up. The idea is to read books. So the principle is to read books that you wouldn't read because they're too long. So once you're following that, you're doing it. So her prompts are, this one of the things seems to come up a lot is read an adult book. I only read adult books, and I really must read a young adult book as my alternative to this sometime, but I don't have any on my shelves at the moment over 500 pages, so I'm not doing that. Well, I am doing it because some of my books are adult, but I'm not doing that. There's always read more than one book. It comes up every single time, so read more than one tome over 500 pages in 2 weeks. It's challenging enough when you're a slow reader like me. The next one is, these are in the wrong order by the way, is read a book that's been on your TBR the longest. Now I looked at mine, and my ones on my TBR that have been on the longest were actually classics, and I'll read the classics when I feel like them. Thank you very much. I'm so probably like Victober and things like that. I'm not avoiding reading them because they're long. I just only do so many classics at a time. So what I did for this is, actually I had bought 2 books recently, so I'm actually doing the newest ones on my TBR, but they've been ones I've been picking up and putting down on bookshops for a couple of years in one case and several years in the other case, because they were long. And that's the principle of this, is don't dismiss a long. Remember the fun of reading a really long book and getting involved and stuck in that story. So I have bought a couple of these recently. One because it came on, it'd been on sale for a long time, and eventually I went, I really do have to get this. And the other one because Stephen King said it's the second best book ever in the world, whatever horror book ever in the world, which I don't necessarily believe. I don't necessarily like the things he reads, but enough of my Goodread friends do like this book, so I decided that I was going to get it. So these are the 2 books that are going to be on. The other book that's going to be on my TBR is in fact a library book. That again is over 500 pages, and again, when you have a lot of books out from the library and you want to read, and you're a slow reader, you have a tendency to read the 2 short books that take 200 odd pages than the book that goes over the 500. So this is to make me read this other book. Let's see. I'm going to actually play her video to see can I see the rest of the actual tags. Oh, the tags, you know what I mean.
In a genre that you don't usually read. The 4th challenge is a tome that's part of a series, and the 5th challenge is to read more than 1 tome during the readathon. So as you can see, I switched some.
Okay, so another 2 of those I'm not doing. So I can't find, to be honest, a tome in a genre I don't normally read, because there's not very many genres I don't normally read. I mean, the young adult might account, but I do read young adult, I just don't read very many of them. Last year I had actually read my first Western, which was Lois and Dove, which is a tome. So I've done that. I have last year as well read a pure romance novel, Outlander. Okay, so this dark fish from time travel and romance, but too romantic for me. Excellent writing, by the way. Just not, I know I don't believe in this Jamie guy. She should go back to her husband. So just gonna be killed for that. So I can't pick one, okay, because I can't think of anything. And that was the other thing. Oh yeah, a series. I should read a series, okay. This one I should do. I should be reading something in this series. I think this is the next one. Please don't fall. And these are mostly over 500 pages, so I technically should be doing something like that, or reading our lovely Tana French, who likes to write long books as well. I should be reading about the third, whatever the third book is, which might be this one. No, it isn't. This one with the blood on it. Oh, yes, is this one. No, it isn't this one. It's Fateful Places, what I have to read next. And again, she writes tomes as well. I just don't have time. I have 3 books already selected. If I had time, I would pick one of these books. So, if you're picking one, would you pick Tana or would you pick CJ? Okay? Now, the books I have selected, because this is a TBR, Carrying Comfort by Dan Simmons. It is very small text. Okay? And 766 pages. It is one of the greatest horror novels of the 20th century, simple as that, by Stephen King. Highly recommended. It's a take on the actually, the bit I liked about it was the actual introduction. Reader, I hate to be one of break it to you, but blood drinking, form shifting, bat flying, kill with a stake in the heart, walking undead vampires aren't real. They're purely fictional constructs. You have to trust me on this. I've stalked Vlad Seps to his birthplace in Shigosira, and gravesite of Snagov Island. It was empty. And Tumbledown Castle, the real one that the Romanians won't talk about, not the tourist trap over at Castle Bran in Romania and Transylvania and the Carpathian Mountains. And I regret to be the one to inform you, Dracula and his blood-slurping ilk are make-believe, but mind vampires are real. So that's the major reason I want to read this. I'm dying to read this. Next one is The Luminaires. Yes, I have been avoiding buying The Luminaires because it was such a big, pretty book. Eleanor Catton, historical fiction, highly recommended by those who read it. It's just long. This is what this readathon is about. Reading it. It's 828 pages. Yeah, block my face. It's gonna be fun. It only takes place over a few years. I can't take too long. And last but not least, my library book. Sorry. My library book fell. But it's not damaged, so that's okay. The Overstory by Richard Powers. Okay, nominated for the shortlisted for the Booker last year. What does POW stand for? Does anybody know? It's just over the 500 pages. It sounded good when everybody's reading their Man Booker lists, But the reason I've picked this up is because A Tale from the Time Being by Rufu Zeki is one of my favourite books. And I was chatting on Goodreads and someone said, if you like A Tale for the Time Being, you really should read the overstory. So I've ordered from the library and I need to read it. And that's basically it. I haven't read them, so I don't like going too much into the details, except to say this is why I picked them. So that's my TBR. Are you doing Tome Topple? If you are, link your video down below if you have a video, or just tell me what you're reading if you're not filming. And meanwhile, enjoy whatever you're reading, whatever length it is. Bye now.